Hi, I'm Jen Shannon, and this is my capstone for the Gen AI Intensive Course with Google. I explored how generative AI and multi-agent systems can transform learning in the workplace from something passive and disconnected to something dynamic, contextual, and deeply embedded in daily work. Most learning systems aren't designed for how employees actually work. Courses live in LMS, learning management systems, disconnected from the tools people use every day. Employees waste time hunting down answers, documentation is static, siloed, and often out of date. And onboarding, it's often just a checklist, not a learning journey. The result, learning is slow, fragmented, and doesn't scale across teams. This project imagines something different, a learning partner embedded inside tools like Confluence, Slack, that answers questions, suggests next steps, and supports real-time skill development, personalized by role and query. It's there when you need it, helping you learn while doing your job. To bring that vision to life, I built a multi-agent AI system. Here's how it works. The internal docs agent retrieves answers from your internal documentation using RAG. And in this project, I use documentation from the official Python documentation to represent internal knowledge of a hypothetical company. The external search agent pulls in grounded real-time results from the web using Google Search. The career agent suggests skills and learning paths tailored to your role. I've hard-coded some simple roles with associated skills. And finally, the manager agent acts as the orchestrator, routing the query and stitching everything together into a seamless conversation. Let's walk through the notebook and run a couple of demos. So we start out by setting up the environment and importing the required libraries, which include Beautiful Soup, which I use to scrape the Python documentation, specifically 3 pages of the official Python tutorial. This represents our internal knowledge. And in fact, we will be querying this as our internal knowledge for our hypothetical organization. We take this hypothetical internal knowledge and load it into ChromaDB, which acts as our vector store. This allows for fast semantic search over our documentation. We use this to create the internal RAG agent. So this is the agent that retrieves the most relevant passages from our internal documentation, which is a vector database. We're using the Gemini model to generate an answer, and we're using prompt engineering to make sure it's grounded strictly in the retrieved internal documentation. We're giving some other guidance here as well. We want to make sure that we are not guessing or fabricating an answer, and we do not want to use any general knowledge or external information. And that's where the external search agent comes in. We're going to be using the Google search grounding tool through the Gemini API for this agent that will use an external search to answer the user's query. We have the career agent. So this is an optional career agent which will provide friendly role-based skill suggestions and recommend learning paths. I've hard-coded 4 roles with associated skills. Some are technical, some are non-technical. We have an HR specialist whose skills are around employee onboarding and talent acquisition versus a software engineer who's looking at skills like Python and Git. Finally, our manager. So this serves as the orchestrator of our multi-agent system. This is the agent that actually takes the query and routes it to the appropriate agents, whether that's the internal documentation, our external search, or the career guidance. It interacts with the user, asks follow-up questions, and then it logs the session's history and saves a JSON summary. Let's see this in action by looking at 2 demos. First up, we have a software engineer who's asking a pretty basic Python question. Let's imagine this is a junior software engineer, maybe fresh out of college, and they're asking specifically for when should I use list comprehension instead of for loops in Python? We know their role is software engineering. We've reset the session. We're removing all the previous data. And we're looking in the internal knowledge base. This is our RAG search of our Python documentation. And sure enough, there, according to chapter 5 on data structures, there are some information on list comprehensions that it's providing here. It goes on to give some more examples. And then it asks the user, and this is the manager agent orchestrating this, would it like external resources as well? Hard-coded in this demo, the answer is yes. Now it's going using our external agent to bring back external resources. Finally, it's asking for if we'd like some personalized career guidance. This is hard-coded as yes. It knows our existing role as a software engineer, and it's generating some career guidance around the query, around these resources. It's recommending tutorials. Remember, we in our prompt engineering specified tutorials based in documentation and other resources that would be more accurate. Finally, it's sharing a 3-step learning recommendation. It gives us our session summary. It's showing us the external resources, the career development, the learning path, and also giving us this feedback, right? We are asking, our agent is asking for feedback. Our user is very pleased, giving us a 5. We're recording that, and we can use that to create better experiences. Finally, we have the session summary listed here in JSON. Our second example is a cross-department knowledge query. So this is a product manager who is asking a question that's not going to be listed in the Python documentation. In this case, it is a product manager asking, what is LangChain and how could it help our products? So it's asking a question about artificial intelligence and not something that is in this Python documentation. So it looks inside the internal knowledge. It tells the user it does not contain any information. It's not creating an answer here. It's following our prompt engineering and saying, hey, I don't have the answer. Would you like me to look at some external documentation? We say yes. It then asks if we would like some career guidance. Hard-coded again for yes. It's using the product manager role and giving us some career development. This career development is going to point the user to the actual official documentation, recommending these tutorials, and then giving some advice on implementing a simple prototype. Again, it lists our learning recommendations, our session summary. We get our user feedback, another 5 out of 5 because it's hard-coded. And finally, we have our JSON session summary. So this architecture is designed for every team, not just engineers. It works just as well for HR, sales, support, and product. The internal knowledge base can be customized to include any Confluence pages, handbooks, or company documentation. And the same goes for the LMS, the learning management system. This can be integrated with your internal learning catalog as well. In the future, this system could automatically detect your role and goals, pull courses directly from your LMS, learn from user feedback, and improve over time, and scale across departments with different knowledge needs. It's a powerful foundation for real-time, just-in-time learning enablement. Thank you for exploring this project with me. You can check out the full notebook and blog post below. I'm Jen Shannon, and I believe this is just the beginning of what generative AI can do to support employee growth at scale. Let's build the future of learning together. Special thanks to Paige Bailey and the entire Google and Kaggle team for creating the GenAI Intensive Course that inspired this project. Thank you.